After just 6 weeks, Tom announced to the group that he will no longer be coming for the meetings. He said he was moving back to California. He was planning to apply to grad school there. He wanted to become a teacher. Everyone in the room wished him luck, except one 30-something with a weather-torn face. "Hey man, just remember, wherever you go, there you are," the guy sighed.
Breaking news.
Crash 31, Roger, frequency clear.
211 in progress. The voice crackled through the radio in Officer Greg Thompson's squad car. Someone had just robbed the Union Bank near Main Street in Walnut Creek, California. It was March 7, 2002, and thick gray clouds were dropping intermittent rain on the quiet suburb east of Berkeley. The dispatcher described the suspect, a 20-something white male, presumed armed, who was last seen fleeing on foot. Thompson and his fellow officers were racing up to set a perimeter. The tactic rarely worked. Two intersecting freeways, Interstate 680 and Route 24, crossed roughly a mile from downtown Walnut Creek, providing a quick getaway to thieves. Nevertheless, the 42-year-old Thompson wasn't one to break protocol. Turning down an alley, he was passing a parking garage when a cyclist shot out of the driveway. 1 second sooner, and the orange bike would have T-boned Thompson. Instead, the cyclist fell behind the cruiser. Thompson tapped his brakes and squinted into the side mirror. Dressed in red, white and blue spandex, the cyclist looked like every other weekend warrior in Walnut Creek, except for one detail. The messenger bag dropped over his shoulder. Thompson sat for a moment. An 18-year police veteran, he didn't believe in mental telepathy. But as a field training officer, he taught new recruits to thrive on instinct. This was one of those moments. He thought that if he didn't stop that guy, he was going to wander for the rest of his life. But before he could flash his lights, the cyclist pulled over and hopped off his bike. When Thompson pulled up, the guy was fidgeting with his back wheel. It started to drizzle again. Thompson asked the guy through the open window of his patrol car whether he could talk to him for a second. Tom declined, continuing to tinker with his wheel. Thompson parked a few feet ahead, turned on his flashing red and blue lights, and walked back to the cyclist. Tom pretended to adjust his brakes before climbing onto the bike and clicking his left foot onto the pedal. He said that he lived in San Ramon and was driving home. Thompson asked the cyclist whether he could take a look into his bag. Tom replied that he didn't have any problem with that. He said he had to unclip out of the pedals because the bike was counterbalanced. However, there's no such thing as counterbalanced pedals. Thompson didn't know this. He watched as the cyclist lifted his right foot, clicked down into the pedal, and whoosh, bolted into the street in a dead start, as hellacious as any Tom had ever mastered on velodrome. "I knew it!" cried Thompson. He desperately grabbed his radio, but another officer was talking on the channel. The cyclist shot down Main Street and out of sight. A few blocks away, Officer Dean Dexter was sitting in a squad car when he spotted a cyclist on an orange bike charging through traffic towards a red light. Dexter pulled into the intersection, but the cyclist didn't stop. Tom swerved around the police car, crossed 2 lanes, and hopped the cab. Darting through a parking lot, he headed toward a tall fence bordering a dense thicket of 15-foot bamboo. Dexter reached for the radio, but before he could even open his mouth, another cop hopped on the channel. "A guy on a bicycle just ran from me," Thompson blurted. "Holy shit," Dexter thought. "I've got him right here," he shouted into the radio. Zigging through traffic, Dexter screeched into the parking lot. There was no sign of the cyclist. Dexter got out of the car and paced towards the fence, drawing his sidearm. He slowly cracked the gate and peered into the jumbled maze of vegetation. A creek flowed 30 feet below, amid fallen tree branches, dry brush, and piles of wet leaves. Following procedure, Dexter closed the gate and waited for backup. Sirens blared as officers secured the perimeter. While Dexter and Thompson walked the upper banks, police dogs combed the creek. After about 15 minutes, a detective spotted something in the leaves. An orange bicycle. Then, a German Shepherd from the K9 unit led them to a pair of cycling shoes hidden under a concrete retaining wall beneath a bridge. "He got out right here and went that way," the dog handler explained. Dexter snorted in disbelief. If the suspect had crawled out of the creek, the police cordon would almost certainly have caught him. But as the sky grew bleaker and the air chillier, the search was called off. They had one good clue though: the orange bicycle, which the police could tell wasn't some average Schwinn. "This bike is special to somebody," Dexter said. "We gotta find out who it is."